All right, let's finish up GermFighter. So now that we have our start button coded, our reset button coded, our white blood cell can be dragged, let's make our germ sprite move. That one moves on its own. So we're going to go to our germ sprite and we're going to say that if it collides with anything. So when germ cell collided with, and we need to tell it what to look for. So we're going to set our germ sprite heading to, so dark green, set germ sprite heading to, and we need another math block. This time we're going to use subtraction. And we're going to say that we're going to take 360, which is any part of the germ, 360 degrees, to get the current germ sprite heading. So go to germ cell, we're looking for light green germ cell heading. So this will tell it to take whatever it's at and then bounce off the opposite. And then we need to remember we did a sound box on the designer view, or it was already there for us. So we need to check to see if the sound is on. So we're going to do an if then. So if, and then we're looking for our sound box. So if the sound box is checked, then we're going to go to our sound 1, set our sound 1 source, which is here, for the collision. What that means is every time that the germ collides with the white blood cell, it's going to give us the collision noise. And then we're going to tell it to call that sound to play. Okay, so that's all this does, is tell it that if the sound box is on, to make it make a noise. Then we need to tell it that we need points. In this case, we need to add a point because our white blood cell blocked the germ cell. So we're going to set our global score to a plus math block. And we want to get our current score. So we're going to look at what the scoreboard is already at, and we're going to add a point. So a +1 goes in the plus box. Then we're going to go to our score label, and we're going to tell it to set our score label text to get our global score. So remember, this first line tells it to make us get a point on the internal scoreboard. This second line tells it to show that on the screen. Oh, I missed a block. I'm sorry. We're going to join those. Join the global score with our actual text label. Not text score. All right, so this whole block right here is what makes our germ move. So I'm going to collapse our white blood cell. I'm going to collapse our germ collide with. Okay. Last thing to do is our timer. This timer video is already posted. I'm not going to do the timer with you today because it's already posted. You have access to it. You don't need me to do that. Make sure that you followed what we have so far for the start button and the reset button, the white blood cell drag, and the germ cell collides. The last thing that we need to do together is what happens if the germ reaches the bottom. So we're going to go to our germ cell again, and we're going to say when germ cell edge reached. So this is what happens to lose the game. We're going to pull out an if then else, which is the second one down, and we're going to pull out a math block that says equals. So what we need to put in here is to tell it that if the germ cell only reaches the bottom edge of our screen, because we want it to bounce off everywhere else. So we're going for the bottom edge here. So we're going to hover here and we're going to say get edge. And the bottom edge of our screen is actually labeled as a -1. Top edge is a +1, and then the sides are 3s. So if our bottom edge, which is the -1, if that gets hit, then we need to set our germ sprite speed to 0. There we go. That tells our germ, hey, stop, game's over. we need to set our canvas background image to uwin.png, not win.wave. Wave is a sound file. We need the PNG. And then we need another one of those sound files. I don't want to rewrite that code, so I'm going to reopen my germ cell, and I'm going to copy this whole block here, collapse that back down, and I'm going to say that if the sound box is on, we're going to set it to win.wave, make it play. And then I need the clock to turn off. If we don't tell the clock to turn off, then even after you lose, you're going to be able to win, which is kind of silly. So we're going to do set clock enabled, and we're going between the brown handlers. And under logic, we're going to say false. If it's not on the bottom edge, then we're going to tell that germ sprite to bounce, which is here, called germ cell bounce edge. And instead of north, we don't always want it to bounce north. We just want it to bounce off the edge. So if it reaches the edge and it's the bottom edge, it's going to stop, say you win, play the win sound if the sound is on, set the timer to false, and bounce off the edge. The lose screen is inside your timer. Not touching that one. Or I'm sorry, your win screen is inside the timer. So if you have questions, go look at the timer video. It's already posted. Here's the rest of GermFighter. This is video number 2. Go back and watch again if you need to.